Hi there, this is Solitary Ronin from Solitary Ronin Films, and welcome to a video on my journey down Fury Road. Mad Max Fury Road, which is now 5 years old. I want to do this video because I'm not really invested in the Mad Max series. I'm not a huge fan. I have the first one on Scream Factory. I like the second one. The third one's pretty bad. So I wasn't really that invested in Mad Max Fury Road. Obviously it was George Miller, but heck, George Miller was probably in some circles more famous for doing The Babe, the famous pig films, rather than actually Mad Max. And when I saw Fury Road for the first time, I thought, yeah, that's a good action film, and I gave it 3 out of 5. But over time, a strange thing has happened. I would now give it 4 stars, but I'm actually now mulling over whether I should actually give it 5 stars, and it's a little confusing. The film is as simple can be. It's just a group of characters being chased in one direction and then being chased back in the same direction they came. The characterization is paper thin. Max, played by Tom Hardy, barely speaks in the first half of the film. I know that upset quite a lot of Mad Max fans because the film's not really a Mad Max film. It's a Furiosa film played by Charlize Theron, and that caused a lot of problems. People called it a feminist film because there's women in it with strong opinions and strong female characters, and Mad Max is just sidelined. Mad Max is just passing through the film and gets involved in the story of these characters. None of which bothered me because, again, I'm not a huge Mad Max fan. But it's literally a film that I could watch every day. There was a period where it was doing the rounds on the ITV channels. And if you're not familiar with ITV in the UK, what they usually do, they have like ITV 1 to 4. So they'll put a film on ITV 2 one night, and then the following night it'll be on ITV 3, and then the following night it'll be on ITV 4. And this happened to Fury Road. So I was watching a film on my big screen through the projector, as I do, but I put Mad Max Fury Road on without the volume because, let's be honest, the dialogue, there's no plot particularly given out in the dialogue or even character that much. So I watched it without the volume. The following night it was on again on a different ITV channel. So while I was watching the film on the big screen, I watched Fury Road without the volume on the television. Talking about the film now, I could quite happily go and watch it again. I mean, I've now seen it probably about 15 times. It claims to be 120 minutes long, but it literally flies by. Because there's no real slowing down for character or exposition, it's literally, we go that way and we're coming back this way. Because 99% of the effects are practical, there's some CGI in there, but anybody else making it would make it CGI and it just wouldn't have that visceral quality. I mean, if you learn about the making of the film, it was a pretty terrible shoot. It was almost a disaster, but strangely enough, through it, they've made this absolutely gorgeous looking film. I mean, I haven't seen it in 4K, but I'd imagine the 4K is stunning. It's just weird because it's a film that pretty much doesn't have much depth. It's pretty much all surface, but the surface is absolutely stunning. It's a film that normally, again, I would just kind of dismiss as it's a 3 out of 5. It's good, solid stuff, but not something that I would watch that often. But there's just something about Fury Road that for me is just endlessly rewatchable. Like I said, it's 5 years old now. Hopefully they'll never go near a sequel. But I know John Wick gets all the pub and all of that, and I have the John Wick films. But for me, Mad Max is more rewatchable than those films. Also, that's just taste. But I just thought I would do this very quick video just to kind of talk about how it's just so well crafted. It looks so good. The action scenes, because they're practical, they still, no matter how many times you watch it, there's moments that are just jaw-dropping when you try and figure out how the hell they did it, because it's amazing that people weren't killed during the making of it. Tom Hardy mumbles through most of it. Charlize Theron's fantastic in it. It has a mix of weird characters, but again, for a 2-hour film, it feels like a 90-minute film, which is a good thing. There's nothing worse than a 2-hour film that feels like 3 hours. Because it rattles along, like I said, it doesn't get bogged down in character scenes and all of that. It's just like literally a moving train of exploding cars. It's a film that, again, should only have a maximum score of 3 out of 5, really. But it's just so much fun and just so good. It's a little bit baffling, but it is one of my favourite films of the last 10 years, and I don't apologise for it. So I know lots of people probably would dismiss it just as a silly action film, but it's so good. And for me, it is the best Mad Max film by a long way. Yeah, a very strange experience, but it's an example of how a film can change in your mind from the first time you see it to now having seen it probably far too many times. But it never gets dull, it never gets boring as far as I'm concerned, even though I know exactly what's going to happen. And it's not as if you have to guess about anything. Yeah, again, it also brings up the importance of trying to do things practically rather than post-production digitally, because you just have a much more visceral viewing experience because you're in a reality. You don't feel detached from the action in Fury Road. You're right in it because it's living, it's breathing, and it's visceral. And it's wonderful. So let me know your thoughts on Fury Road. And hopefully you'll join me for more puzzling videos. This is Solitude Ronin, slightly confused, from Solitude Ronin Films saying farewell.